I was told to show up here at this exact moment in the middle of SkillsUSA National Championships. See, my new friend Travis is about to deliver something that was made for me. It's supposed to be important, maybe even a bit personal. It was made by high school students earlier in the week, and while I don't know exactly what it is, I'm super excited and also pretty curious as to what they have for me. See, to get here, I had to walk into a studio packed with retro games, movie props, and 3D printers, get my face scanned, and open up about my life to a group of students I'd never even met before.
Hey there,
Travis!
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, got something for you.
Ooh, I'm excited. What is this?
Before I show you what they gave me, we need to start at the beginning in Travis's studio just outside of Atlanta.
Today, I'm hanging out with a bunch of additive manufacturing students.
I'm just super excited.
I heard that he produced some props that were used in Marvel films.
It's a new experience.
I want to see how some of the movie props are made.
I'm very excited.
The guy can create like anything that you can put your mind to.
This is a great opportunity for our students who have had the chance to see additive manufacturing, machining, and other real skill trades in the classroom. Now they get to see it applied in the real world.
Them seeing what Travis is able to do in his studio is going to inspire these kids to be the next Travises. And I think we're going to see a lot of cool stuff today.
Travis Wood is an additive manufacturing professional. In simple terms, that means he builds things layer by layer. Instead of carving away at a block of material like traditional manufacturing, additive manufacturing starts with nothing and adds layers until something incredible appears.
I see bright colors. This is going to be good.
Most people know it as 3D printing, but in the right hands, it's a whole lot more than that.
Are you kidding me? You've got all these video games?
It's art, engineering, and imagination fused together. Travis uses it to create everything from film props to one-of-a-kind collectibles, sometimes even perfect reprints of the stuff we grew up with.
So is this like an authentic still suit?
It might as well be.
So I could drink my own fluids if I was wearing this?
Yeah, you'll sweat enough too.
Yeah, I can guarantee you that.
His studio is part workshop, part time machine, and part movie set. Today, it's also a classroom.
You made this here.
Yeah, like even to the point to where the fabric is custom. This is all silk screen, puff additive paint. All the elements you see here either digitally sculpted, 3D printed, molded, casted, laser cut.
Travis and a team of students are going to show me how this technology is changing the future of skilled trades. But they've also got a secret project of their own. Apparently, it involves my ADHD brain. And honestly, that makes sense.
Long story short, yes, I saw a lot of tornadoes.
This place looks just like it. Loud, colorful, and buzzing with possibility.
Another example I can show you here is like, instead of it being for like creation, this was like actually for preservation. From Star Trek The Next Generation, this was like a big deal prop. The only existing pieces, because these were made in like a latex rubber that just got obliterated, but somebody had like silicone mold, but it was so old, you know, you could just breathe on it, it would turn to dust. So I used a 3D scanner to scan the mold and then, you know, reverse engineered it and was able to preserve it. This is actually cast in sugar.
What?
And so there was a gun that was used in a murder, and the shot was him throwing it in a river, you know, to get rid of it. And instead of, you know, you'd either have to have the gun tied to a piece of monofilament and then reset it by pulling it back up. And we just came up with the idea of like, well, if the gun is made of sugar, it'll just dissolve in the water fully. Hopefully the fish didn't get diabetes after that. But
Sugar's a lot better than most things that are thrown in the river.
How long does like one thing take to like produce?
If we're talking like film industry timeline, typically those move extremely fast. I've been asked to make something in a few hours. I've been asked to make stuff overnight that should take weeks to make, but it's just do it. It's typically very high pace, and most people aren't used to that. Thankfully, 3D printing technology has gotten far faster since I've been doing this. I've been in the shop space 8 years now. When I was first in here, like a helmet would take days. Now it takes hours.
Travis's shop is like a dream factory. You can make anything here. But how does an idea go from your head to something real in your hands? Travis is about to walk us through the whole process.
Oh, wow. Now, see, this is my childhood. You've even got a token machine. But you've also got, like, all your monitors and your computer screen. So this is a functioning office with lots of things to play with.
I like to surround myself with what inspires me, and retro video games was probably the reason why I became an artist to begin with.
I think that's the trick, honestly. Keeping passion to any project alone. It's like you gotta have fun.
So from here, guys, once things are digitally sculpted, digitally planned, most likely the next step is 3D printing. How many of you have actually printed stuff before?
All of us.
All of us? Yeah, excellent. These are referred to as FDM machines, you know, and you're printing on spools of material. I'm sure you guys know or are familiar with like this type of machine that pulls stuff out of light sensitive goo, right? They're mainly known as SLA machines, which is stereolithography. This is the most like sci-fi printer to me because this bed goes down and literally just pulls the stuff out of the goo. These are also machines that allow me to print extremely fast because the entire build plate, full thing, full volume, is highest resolution is only going to take 12 hours. Something like this was printed in about 8 hours, and it was this level of quality when it came off the machine.
So you didn't have to sand that down. It came out that smooth.
Within 1 hour, it was in primer.
When the machine is running, you can't make it go faster. So how do you like manage your time so like you're always working?
So if I'm on a very tight timeline and I just need to like go as fast as possible, I might, you know, in the case of this armor right here, not all of this was even finished sculpting when I'm printing parts, you know, and it's just like I kind of have to quick plan like how things look as a whole, but might refine certain elements, get them ready for printing immediately, and then, you know, continue to build the rest of it out once the machines are going. Once all machines are running, I feel like I can breathe because I know progress is being made, even if I take a 5-minute break. Also the feeling of when you go home and you're sleeping and you're like, our printers are working.
In art, right? When you're trying to be perfect at something, it always ends up not being that, right? And so it's the mistakes and the failures we make that sometimes leads to a discovery. Does that happen with this as well?
Oh yeah, all the time. You kind of want to make those mistakes because once you've encountered that issue, you're probably going to learn from it and not happen again. 3D printing is how I got into this to begin with. It's led me down so many other paths that are like connecting skills that will basically allow you to utilize and make pretty much anything you want.
After the printing room, the next stop is the hard shop, where Travis takes the item and cleans it up to be painted or molded.
Miniature painting station here. We got an old school relief press right here. We've got a vacuum forming machine. We also have a large walk-in clean room for spray booth.
Can we do that scene where Spock is inside there? Jim! Jim!
We also have a large format laser cutter.
You got a much smaller CNC than I thought you'd have, but that's kind of cool. You don't.
That's the 2x4. That's the 4x8.
Oh.
There was one time where there was just one little plastic part was screwing up one of the axes, and I called the company, and they were like, "The quickest we can get it to you is 3 days." And so I was like, "All right." So I just took the part, made a mold, casted it, and put it on there. I was like, "I got it in an hour."
That's what I was saying.
After the item has been cleaned up, he takes it to the molding and casting room for duplication. Once Travis has everything molded and casted, the final step involves painting, coating, and finishing the item.
What do I mean by mold making is that we take that master and we make a silicone mold. Once I have the mold, I can recreate copies much faster, and they'll also be out of a different material that's much more durable than like a 3D printed resin.
I know a lot of the stuff you do and whatnot is like people are like, hey, I need like a Batman outfit that needs to fit me. But do they ever kind of give you like more vague instructions where you get like creative with it?
So sometimes that can be great, but it can also be not so great at the same time, because there can be scenarios where production isn't specific on what they want, and they think they know what they want. They tell you that, you make it, and then they just change it a million times, and that process is like pulling teeth from them. Especially when we're getting into a point to where it's like people can generate concept art with AI very quickly. You kind of feel like you're AI.
What does that feel like? I'm sure these guys want to know. Like when you create something and then you see it, you know, used, and like then millions of people see it.
The Loki series, at the time, that was the most popular show in the world, and my wife and I made a lot of stuff for it. And so seeing main character weapons or the little collars or just all these different aspects that just people were going crazy for on Twitter, you know, Instagram, whatever, you know, already trying to decipher how things were made so they could add it to their cosplay, and just seeing like millions of people do that was just like, Yes.
Travis builds amazing stuff, but now the students want to build something else, starting with an interview about my life. I'm curious, what do they want to know?
How would you describe yourself?
Well, my mom said it best. She said, listening to me is like trying to drink from a fire hydrant. If I have a thought, like, I burst it out. It's same with ideas. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I just have to get it out. And sometimes the ideas are good, but, 50% of the time, they're also just really bad.
What are some of your favorite moments from your childhood?
Well, let's see. There's good ones and there's there's the learning ones. I was the youngest, right? So when I came home from the hospital, my brother saw me and immediately threw his bottle at me.
Oh, great.
Because I was already sort of demanding attention at a very young age. One of the most defining moments for me as a kid is my mom was studying to be a child psychologist. She went to my elementary school to study the worst kid there was. And they're like, Mrs. Pennington, I don't think you really want to know who that is. I was such a distraction to all the other kids trying to learn. I wore my desk. I slapped Johnny on the back of the head. I climbed in and out of the windows. I was swinging on the blinds. I was always drawing or creating or trying to make something, but I was doing it in the house. So I was drawing all over the walls. And at one point, my parents asked me, why don't you take it outside? I convinced the other kids in my neighborhood to borrow their dad's tool, and we built a 3-story treehouse in a day. The family was impressed, but not so impressed that they're like, wow, you should become a carpenter. It was more like, well, thank God you didn't do it in the house.
How did growing up in Georgia, in this area, affect you?
I think for me, growing up inner city was really key, because at 8 years old, I could walk out the street, catch Marta, and take it either to a mall or take it to Six Flags. Having that kind of independence at 8 years old, and you didn't really come back until till dark. And of course, I got into skateboarding at a young age too, and we'd go down these really steep hills, and there's nothing better than learning what a rock feels like, getting stuck under your wheel at 35 miles an hour, and then, so yeah, I'm sure you felt that, so it feels so good.
It's real fun.
Yeah, and there's nothing quite like the wind hitting that open scrape, that wound, I was constantly a distraction, and I think the truth was this: I wasn't soaking in the knowledge, like I wasn't learning at the same rate as the other kids, and I think what I was doing is rebelling. So like, if I'm not going to be learning, I didn't want them to learn either. It's like a curse and a blessing, because I think being someone who's easily distracted with ADHD, it also, you get ideas and creativity that you wouldn't, I think, if you weren't. So I love a deadline. I like finishing a project, moving on, because if I don't, I'll just start 3 projects that never get finished.
So you told me that you always have like such a deep conversation with, or like a deep connection with your brother. How was he like?
My mom worked 2 or 3 jobs while going to college. I was dropped off at Brookhaven Boys Club. Because of that, that's when I learned to sort of like do different projects with local kids. There was a time we were going to go fishing, and my brother was digging for worms, and he hit a yellow jacket's nest. I saw them just come out of the ground, and they stung him 35 times. And I saw his head start to swell up, and my parents weren't home yet. There was like 3 hours for them to get there. So I put his head in some ice, and I remember him going like, I'm not feeling well. At 15, I decided to find out who my real dad was. So I drove to Florida, met that guy, and he works construction. So he asked me what I wanted to do. I said, let's build something. So in that week, we built a boat together. We put the rudder in, and we took it for its maiden voyage, and it sank. So I think that says a lot.
How did you get more into the TV entertainment aspect with construction?
Okay, that's a good question. I never wanted to be a professional construction guy. I wanted to be a graphic designer. And so I went to school, I got a degree, and I ended up working for this graphic design firm. But I always kept going back to the job site, because that's the beauty of being in a trade. Like, you can go try another job, but you can always put on your tool belt, show up at a job site, and they will hire you. There's like these doors of opportunity that happened. And instead of like guessing, should I go, I just said yes every time. Here's what I mean. Like, I was skateboarding on Peachtree about an hour before I was supposed to go to art school, and this guy came up to me, handed me a card, and said, hey, I think I can make you some money. He handed me this card that was basically like a modeling agency or something, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can make some cash. I don't know. So I went, and these people go, we have no idea who you're talking about. Why are you here? I had a rat tail because I was a skater, right? There was a Japanese scout there, and he's pointing at me and laughing, and I said, hey, what's his problem? And they're like, oh, he's a Japanese scout. So this guy comes over and says, hey, you should come to Japan. And I said, do what? And he said, make money. And I said, when do we leave? My dad looked at the contract and said, you're going into slavery. Like, this says you're not going to make any money. You're going to have to pay for everything yourself. I said, sounds like it's going to be fun. My point is because I went through that door, because I said yes, it changed my whole perspective of what I wanted to be and what I thought I could do with my life. I got a call from an agency in New York. I went to New York. I went to 10 auditions in 1 week and I landed 3. I asked the director, like, why did you hire me? I just need to know. I was like, is there something about me? And he goes, well, to be honest with you, not really. But you see that pretty girl, that's our lead. She really lights up when you're also in the shot. I was like, so I'm here to make her look better? He goes, yeah. I found out what I'm really good at is making people comfortable on camera. And I think that's why I've done so well in reality TV. I would say if there's one word that sums me up, it is chaos. Because I can create something out of chaos. And if there isn't any chaos, I'll stick my foot in a fan to create it.
Favorite color?
I would say orange and turquoise. However, it's a little flamboyant. So I'm gonna say this. If the combination can be a bit much, I've always wanted a vintage scooter, right? That's creamsicle. By the way, another story. My brother and I. Hold on.
So I heard you mention a motorcycle or a scooter. What are your favorite, or what is your favorite?
I just love this Italian scooter style. Again, it goes back to this movie called Quadrophenia. The reason they call it a Vespa is it's a wasp. That's why it's got the fat tanks. But a GS scooter with my haircut neat, I would say that would be my style.
Knowing where you came from and seeing them here and seeing what seems for us a leg up, what impact does that have on you, seeing them have these opportunities so much earlier than you did?
When you learn a trade, that not only stays with you, but you learn from experience. And then when you're working among other trades, you're also soaking in all the knowledge of the plumber that's working next to you, the electrician that's working like above you. So you're actually learning all these other trades while you're still focusing on yours. Skills trade is the option that we should all not only fall back on, but I think make the first step with.
Now that I've shared with the students everything they could possibly want to know about me, Travis is going to scan my face.
Wait, you're gonna what?
So who's ready for a scan?
What?
Back in the day, prop makers like me would cover your whole face in alginate and hope you didn't panic. But today, we take a different approach.
So I have 2 different scanners here. This one's called the EVA, this one's called the Space Spider. So this one's actually for very small things. If I really wanted to capture every pore, every little hair follicle,
nostril hair,
everything, I would do it with this. But this one is more designed for larger objects. I could literally scan a helicopter with this and the software would piece it together.
Wow.
This captured data, the software compiles that data into a perfect 3D model. I take that into my digital sculpting software, do additional planning from there, and then send said object to the printer. Yeah.
So this is like weird science come to life.
It is, yeah. So if I wanted like a perfectly accurate, catching like all aspects of his head, I would ask him to put like a bald cap on.
Something like this?
I don't think so.
I'm guessing it goes a little higher up. Oh, wow. Do I need to have my phone out of my pocket?
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna do your face.
So close my face. So do you guys want to know what that felt like?
Yeah.
You're on the runway?
No, here's what it felt like. It felt like a UFO. You know what I mean? Was like flying around you, scanning you, about to take you up to the mother planet. It looks like I'm part of the living dead.
You can already see like the detail that even this scanner is able to capture versus like the super detail.
That is wild. Can we talk about the size of my nostrils? Can you zoom in there? like look at this. Like tilt it up a little bit. Look at the size of that. Like,
With Ty's face scanned and uploaded, it's time to send him home and start designing. The students will use his story as inspiration and build something completely original.
The main thing I do want to focus on is his ability to just talk.
I think we should have his mouth open. That's kind of his superpower of his gift of gab and making people feel comfortable.
We definitely want to do orange and turquoise.
I feel like we definitely need to incorporate some kind of just like, whether it's a texture or something to do with wood.
I would maybe try to do it on the bottom, like a pattern maybe.
There's a lot of elements and I don't want them to clash.
I would love to incorporate that hat, which seems to be with him everywhere.
So the mask would need to end about forehead height. That way his hat is still, I like that.
One of the themes I've seen with masks before is like a, I kind of want to say a mesh cover where it has like all the holes in it. You could do something like that because it looks kind of similar to a bug's eyes.
It sounded like he literally needs chaos to thrive in creation. I like the idea too of potentially referencing with the wood, like the less refined, and as it's going up and we start getting into more Vespa stuff, I think we should start getting more and more refined, which kind of also shows like build and grow. These are all great ideas. I mean, and granted, this sketch is nowhere near the end of what we're going to reach here.
After working with the students, I mocked up a design. Time to head to the office and merge it with Ty's scan.
I took Ty's scan here, and then I'm starting to kind of base out forms as I'm working through this, having like, say for example, we talked about this element being wood, right? So I want that to be separate, so when I decide to add texture to just that, it's easier to manipulate.
How long did it like take you to learn or get used to like this software?
I'd say over the course of several years, I think my goals kind of changed. When I was first doing stuff like this, it was a lot more like organic sculpting. What I'm doing here would be referred to as hard surface modeling. I can manipulate and change and really focus on the visual of how it's going to look really fast. Now, the amount of resources as far as like video tutorials and all kinds of stuff, an entry point is a lot easier. A couple of years, but I would go into that with very specific goals.
It's extremely impressive to see everything like that. And then you've only been in here for like, I mean, it felt like maybe 10 minutes and you already have like a pretty solid base down.
As I finish up the design, the next step will be to print, paint, and run it through each station before we deliver the mask to Ty on the show floor of the SkillsUSA Finals.
So this is a mask that we designed for you based on the scan that we did and based on elements of your childhood and story that we talked to you about.
Oh my God, so I've literally talked too much. Wow, this is wild.
What we have here is we have a foundation built on chaos, one word that describes you. This is also referencing you building a treehouse as a kid.
Treehouse,
yeah, also embracing like kind of flaws as well, showing the human hand.
Wow.
As you can see, we've referenced Vespa quite a bit here.
Oh, I see the side panels.
Yeah, and then the middle thing right here. We also have the yellow jacket eyes after hearing your story of you and your brother.
Wow.
And we also really liked the idea of how your mom described you as a fire hydrant that was just flowing out of your mouth, so we made sure to leave the mouth open.
I love the storyline. This is amazing. Did you do this alone?
No, I did not. So if the students want to come in.
So you guys got to work with Travis to make this.
Yeah.
Is this the first three-dimensional superhero mask you guys have ever made?
Definitely.
I love the connection with the wood for the treehouse and the fact that my brother was stuck so many times. Like, I don't even know what to say. This is impressive. Any ideas like what I should call myself?
I believe the name that we kind of came up for your superhero, seeing as how chaos and ADHD is kind of your superpower, is general distraction.
Yep.
Deep diving into the world of additive manufacturing has been a blast. But the truth is, it's more than just fun, it's the future. From breakthroughs in healthcare to restoring priceless pieces of history, additive manufacturing is reshaping the world. It speeds up innovation, solves critical problems, and powers everything from film sets to aerospace labs. But here's the hard part. We don't have enough people stepping into those roles. Across the trades, welding, electrical, plumbing, mechatronics, additive manufacturing, we're facing a growing gap. And if we don't act, the gap becomes a crisis. So the question is, will you step up? Because the trades need you, and the time is now.
Hey Ty, there's really only one thing left for you to do now.
I think I know what you mean. Look, a small dog! You know what happens when you put different skills in a blender? You make skills jam. Look, a shiny object.
And just like that, we foiled them again. I love the fact that you have an accent.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, citizen.
God bless you, sir.
Look! It's Tom Selleck. I'm kidding. He's way too old for you. You're welcome, citizens. You're welcome.